Hello everyone, I'm Rue and I am filming this video for our recipe-based assignment. I have chosen the Home Cookbook, which is Canada's first community cookbook. It was first published in 1877 and has since had quite a few editions published. I have a modern copy of the book with me, but it was again first published in 1877, and the contents in this version are exactly the same. Same recipe, same instructions, even same typeface. The only thing that's different is that there is now a introduction by Elizabeth Driver, but everything about the recipes is exactly the same as anyone cooking in 1877 would see. So I am going to be making a spice cake, which I've never done before, and I thought this was an intriguing recipe because you're baking a cake without flour, and that's not something I've ever heard of. So I'll just read out the instructions. It's only a couple lines long. So spice cake on page 304, because there are several different recipes. 1 1/2 cups of sugar, that's easy. 1/2 cup of butter, also easy. 1/2 cup of sour milk. I don't have sour milk, but I did find out that you can make a good substitute by mixing 15 milliliters of vinegar with 235 milliliters of milk and letting that sit for a while, and it should have the same effect. 2 cups of raisins chopped. 3 eggs. Not sure if they mean large or small, so I think I bought regular sized eggs, so we'll see how that goes. 1/2 a nutmeg. It doesn't specify if this is the whole nutmeg or if it should be chopped or crushed. I'm going to try crushing it. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1 of cloves. A clove, I found, is the flower bud of a clove tree. I know I've seen it used in other recipes, but then the clove is removed from whatever's being made. That's not really possible when you're baking a pie, so I am going to try to crush a little bit and put it in and see how that goes. 1 saleratus, which is just baking soda, and then the instructions say mix rather stiff, bake in loaf tins in moderate oven. So it's quite straightforward, but also missing some info that we might have today. For instance, it says mix in loaf tins. It says plural, loaf tins, so how many and what size, it's kind of hard to tell. And it also says bake in a moderate oven, which is referring to the temperature. What is moderate? I'm guessing maybe around 350 degrees, and we'll go from there. And it also doesn't mention in the recipe how long we have to bake this for, so I'm going to just watch it and every so often do the prick test with a little, tooth what are they called? The little wooden sticks. You stick them in, and if it comes out clean, you're done. And if it comes out and there's still batter or whatever stuck, then you know you're not done. I'm also at my mom's house helping her get ready to move, so I won't be in the kitchen. As you all know, moving is a little bit chaotic. So I will take pictures throughout the process though and include those with my finished report. And fingers crossed that this goes well. Alright, so quick update video. I have now put all of my loose ingredients into a bowl after measuring them out. I'm about to start stirring. There were a couple challenges that I came across. For instance, for the 1/2 cup of sour milk, I found that you can make sour milk by mixing vinegar and regular milk together, but the conversion I found was for a full cup of making sour milk from vinegar and regular milk. So I wasn't sure how to get 1/2 cup, so I just made the full 250 milliliters about, and then divided it in 2 and poured that into the bowl. So fingers crossed that works. For 1/2 a nutmeg, I did not know how much 1/2 a nutmeg would be. I couldn't find whole nutmegs in the store, so I got ground nutmegs. So I Googled how much does a nutmeg weigh, and then have that. So I added, I think, about maybe 5 milligrams of nutmeg. The teaspoon of cinnamon was quite easy, and then for a clove, that was kind of the same issue as the nutmeg. How much does a clove actually weigh? I don't know. I've seen cloves before. They're maybe the size of a small screw, so I kind of approximated that to how much of the clove I actually put in. And then 1 saleratus of that's baking soda. What unit is that? Again, not really sure. Went on a couple websites about making historic recipes. Most said it was about 1 to 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda. So I went with that. And that's about it. Getting some really lovely smells at the moment. All of the spices smell really great, both individually and together. So I have high hopes for the recipe. And that's about it. I'm about to start stirring it. The recipe says mix rather stiff. I have a neuromuscular disorder. I can't, for the life of me, stiff a concoction in a bowl till it becomes rather stiff. So I am going to use the wonderful invention of the electric mixer and hope that that works. And then I'm going to put it into the loaf tins. I am going to hopefully do 2 loaf tins, but it depends how much a batter or whatever you'd call this actually adds up to. And there's no instructions about having to put butter around the tin beforehand. I'm going to, because I bake cakes and I know that if you don't put butter first, they could burn and stick. I don't know how that works with a spice cake, so we shall see. And I will take another picture when I have mixed everything and before I put it into the loaf tins and the oven. Alright, another quick update. Things are not going as smoothly as I hoped they would. First mistake, I think, was putting all of the ingredients together in a bowl and then starting to mix them. The butter didn't want to seem to mix in with everything, so we had to use the mixer to stir for a very long time. I think if I would do the recipe again, I would add the sugar and the butter, mix those together, and then add the rest of the ingredients before mixing again. Second problem, the cut up pureed raisins stick together to such an extent that the mixer doesn't want to mix them anymore. So after a while, that attempt was given up, and I just used a knife to kind of break the raisins apart and then scoop the raisins out of the mixture, break the raisins apart, and then kind of drop them back into the mixture. It smelled lovely earlier. It doesn't really smell so great anymore. It doesn't smell like anything. It looks like vomit. So I had high hopes, and I think those are fast going down the drain. So I'm going to put everything in the cake tin, put it in the oven, and fingers crossed. So I think things are going okay. I was able to get the batter to the right consistency, at least what I think. It felt pretty stiff when I tried to stir it. And I divided the batter between 2 cake tins, and they are in the oven for just under 350 degrees. I have a convection oven. It runs a little bit hot, more so than a regular oven, so I kind of turned the temperature down a little bit just to even out for that from past experiences using this oven to bake cakes. And because I'm not really sure how long the spice cake should bake for, I've just started with 25 minutes and we'll check on it periodically to go from there. It smells really nice at this point. It looks disgusting. So time will tell, and hopefully in about half an hour I will have an end product to share with everybody. Just another quick video. I started by putting the spice cake in the oven for 25 minutes, checked on it, still wasn't ready, put it in for another 5, so 30 minutes total, still wasn't ready, so another 5 minutes, so hopefully after 35 minutes it'll be done now. It seemed to actually have shrunk in size. I think that's because all of the wet ingredients have evaporated. I've never seen anything quite like it. It smells absolutely delicious, and I'm super excited to try it, and I think anything other than a tasty mouthful will be a great disappointment at this point. So Fingers crossed. So I think that the spice cake is done. I'm not entirely certain. It's been in the oven for 40 minutes. I think it's okay. The inside, the center, it might still be a little bit wet, moist, bubbly, but the outside, just along the edges, has not really burnt but turned a darker color, and it's kind of shrunk away from the sides of the pan. So I don't want to leave it in any longer because obviously the outside at least is done. So it's quite late now. We have to let the spice cake cool down, see if it kind of solidifies a little bit more overnight, and I guess I look forward to trying a piece of it in the morning and seeing if this experiment kind of went well or not. It does smell really nice, so even if it doesn't end up tasting good, I think just having something like this in your home, especially around the holidays or in the fall, would be lovely. It's a very warm, inviting, cozy smell. So even if this doesn't work out, I think it has potential, and I definitely will be trying this recipe again with a couple of modifications. So fingers crossed for tomorrow. Good morning. It is the day after I tried to make my spice cake, and I think we've had mixed results. Yesterday when I left it, it looked like it was kind of hard around the edges and still soft on the inside, so I wasn't sure what that was going to mean. And then this morning I tried to remove it from the pan, which it worked, but it does not look like a beautiful cake. So that's no good. It does look nice and a little bit spongy, a little bit sticky. So I'm gonna try it and see if it works. It does smell really nice, so that's got something going for it. And it tastes amazing. So it looks horrible, but I would definitely eat the rest of this, and I would definitely recommend it. I do wonder if it needed some flour, because the other recipe for spice cake in the book had flour included in it. If that would have made it help it rise a little bit more, stick together, or maybe not stick to the pan, and then I wouldn't have had to scrape it away. But this is really great, and I'm gonna try to make this again because it looks horrible and it tastes absolutely amazing. This was definitely well worth the effort.